And this could also, like, again, up to interpretation. If it's personal or if it's some, like, the greatest, act that they would have done, or like just something casual, like I was able to fit like 5 donuts in my mouth at once. I don't know. Probably not that one. Maybe it is.
A pretty minimal achievement, but
It's like also just like, how would they answer this?
Mm-hmm. I'd
there
say
are some
shoot
people
the
that would
whiskers off of Silas. I mean, a cowboy's pride is his mustache, so little humiliation.
Greatest moment of her life so far.
Yes.
So far.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. Both rounds, Celia. When you're ready.
If you ask Celia, she'll tell you that it was landing a complicated spin move of some type.
That's fair. The greatest, performance that she put on, that sort of thing.
Kinda, yeah.
Like trick that she did.
Yeah.
Nice. Would you have a different answer?
I think Celia would have a different answer, but I don't know if she would tell that to anyone.
Fair enough. If you have it in mind, you can send that to me if you'd like. Siler, you got one for Arthronus?
I do. It's actually following in the same vein. Because if
I heard in the same vein and then he cut out.
Yeah, no, he's got one that's in the same vein, and then he's got the one that he's not. Hello?
Hey there.
Did you cut out again?
Yes. Mark down the bingo cards, people. We are just in the nick of time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So he's essentially got two. He's the one he's telling people and the one he's secretly more proud of but doesn't want to say.
Oh.
Oh, I think I can
the
guess.
one... Yeah, no, one of them is his... when he left his old life, essentially saying no to someone he usually never bats an eye to at anything. Kind of just left on his little journey that started him here.
Hmm.
The other one, it was actually currently updated. So there was what it was before and then what it is now.
Interesting.
And the one that was before was an unknowing competition of endurance that he was victorious in, and it's the most proudest he's been. It's also something that he did so not necessarily unknowingly. He just didn't realize it was a competition at the beginning, so he doesn't really feel like it counts.
Hmm.
But like I said, that has currently been replaced by something new. So he's good.
Okay. All right. Right. Well then, is there anything anybody would like to go over at the moment before we get started?
I don't think so.
No.
All right then. Without further ado, then, let's get going. Crystal, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We already started. All right. So, picking up last where we left off. Excuse me. So last time, where we left off previously, Celia and Othronus had returned from their walk, romantic sunset walk. They returned to a conversation with Rainier, who had just gotten to the manor and had been speaking briefly with Cordelia. He brought up, he asked a bit about the events of the morning, the fireball, and provided a bit of insight into what he thinks may have happened. He believes that the gnome was heading to your tavern to speak with you, to hire you to deliver the Stone of Galore, the artifact that will lead the way to the treasure hoard of dragons somewhere in the city. He was planning on delivering that to you to take to Rainier's father, Dagalt Neverember. After a bit of conversing, it seems as though the party has decided, for, I'm certain, a multitude of reasons, each one of their own volition, to look in a bit to what had happened and see if that may lead them to this stone, and perhaps to the Vault of Dragons. You also brought up that Fala had seen another man leaving the manor, the front of the manor. You did not have the description, but it was discussed that Rainier would go and speak with her after speaking with you, and see if he could find out what this person may look like and see what may have happened to them or with them. Look for kind of rumors around the city. So I think it was discussed. Othronus brought up that during the dinner that the two of them had, that he had with Celia, he spotted a figure on a nearby building that seemed to move in a bit of a strange fashion. The group then tracked down this building and discovered it to be the House of Inspired Hands, the temple of a god named Gond. I believe a few religion checks were rolled, kind of about just the god, and he is the god of crafts, or artifice as well, creation, but in a number of ways.
Making stuff.
I will say, because I think Celia rolled like pretty well on that. Was it a nat 20, or was it just like a good roll?
I don't remember.
But she recalled an island that she had visited on her journeys.
Oh yeah, that was a nat 20.
It was a nat 20. It's basically he's anything between like, hey, I made this like cool chair, to I made more and more complex things. Up and all the way up. Where we left off, it is about like 30 minutes. I forget exactly what I'd said before. let's say an hour after dark or so, hour or so after dark. You had just seen somebody leave. To also kind of roll it back a little bit, it does seem like there are people inside, but it seems like it's, the activity's low inside. It's not like super crowded in there at the moment. When you had arrived, you peered up to the top of the building and actually saw a figure standing atop. Presumably, but not certainly, the figure that Othronus had seen before. Only silhouetted and cloaked, but it did seem to release some sort of bird-like shape from its hands that fluttered around a bit and then dove into the street towards the three of you. Celia acted quickly and nabbed the metallic sparrow from the sky. Well, from its dive, intentional or unintentional dive towards Cordelia. So I believe you saw the figure disappeared from the roof, and you were discussing whether you wanted to head in or whether you were going to try some alternative method of entering the building. And I will, I believe I had misspoke. Now I know it's misspoke. I wasn't certain I was going to get the exact figure back to you on like how many stories this is tall. It's 6 stories tall. The roof is roughly 60 feet in the air. Maybe even a little higher. But this is a pretty jagged building. It's got, cogs and spokes and sorry.
Bless you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was a bit louder than I was expecting. But no pipes as well. Is what I'm saying. It's very steampunk, and it's got some of the nicer bits of architecture, but it's kind of been hidden behind what seem to be perhaps modifications or alterations that has been made to this building. What would you all like to do?
Throw me! You love to toss me!
I mean, we can.
Alright, now you know the plan.
We
toss
like,
you.
Sticky hands.
No, you're aiming for like the top of the roof or the ledge to go inside, and then we will join you and back you up by going inside through the door.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right. I will add. Oh yeah. I'll add. You will think you can. You could. You're pretty strong, Othronus, and Cordelia. For a person, she is decently light. She's small. You're not entirely certain how far you'd be able to throw. It'd be easier to throw like horizontally, but vertically that's going to be a bit tougher. So obviously, speak of what your plan is if you'd like, but you're not certain exactly how far you're going to be able to throw her vertically.
Ring.
I mean, that test throw right now is just straight up in the air, not at something. Just to see what kind of
altitude we can get.
Altitude we're looking at.
And I will also again add, it's not busy right now, but there are definitely other people on the street.
Throw her.
Just pretend it's a carnival scene. You know plenty about that, Celia.
Celia coughed.
Alright, so
I don't think Celia's ever confirmed that she was in the carnival. Did she?
I think you've
I think it
been
was
insinuated through social interactions.
I forget all the details.
And we followed you to a
came up
boat.
at some point. Oh, that's right. She spied on her.
Yeah,
think that
I don't
was,
know
like,
if
a
Celia
suspicion that she
knows.
had.
Wait, did we talk about it afterwards?
I think that was a suspicion that she had around that time. That may have been fueled by out-of-game talk.
I'm trying to remember
or-
if Celia ever
yeah.
admitted to being part of the carnival or not.
I mean,
She
I'll
is
just let you
a
say.
circus performer.
If you want to, like, say, like, again, like, if we want to, like, just rule, like, it's a suspicion that Cordelia has that it was that carnival. Othronus, I think, knows at this point because of the interaction that you had before. And that she knows that it was a circus performance, but not that necessarily that, but it's a suspicion. Or if you have... Yeah.
I don't think Celia's ever confirmed which carnival she was a part of. She was definitely a performer.
Definitely
And
if there's
that's
a...
enough for him.
Uh-huh. So you were going through this? Anything you guys
Test
want to
throw
do before
first?
the throw?
Test throw. We're tying some rope to her in case she gets caught on something like pinata.
Then just beat me with a stick until candy falls out.
Woo!
And it's just
What
the little root
is-
beer barrels and Werther's caramels, you know, the Southern Church candy.
Oh no!
Here's my question: if I did need to hang a pinata, would you be cool just holding it while I throw you over something to hang you,
Absolutely.
and you just tie the rope to the pinata and then just climb up the rope and just slide back down?
Oh my
Also,
god!
honey, I trust you completely. Go for it.
Oh,
well,
man.
safety either way. I'm still tying here some rope, and then I'm just testing it out, and then I'm just going to, and can't believe I'm wasting one of these when there's almost more than likely something bad's going to happen. Going to pop one of my rages for the day and just throw her into the air.
Woohoo!
How high does she go?
Right in the
So, I mean, like, by all means, continue to do this, but I am, like, a little bit curious on what the intention with the rope is. It's not like you're throwing her over a chasm, which is, like, this, or, like, some, like, quicksand, or, I don't know, something.
If by
where you're
some
catching her. This is
unexpected
just-
miracle, something happens or she gets caught on something, we've got something to pull her loose.
So it's to pull her back down.
Yeah, pull her back down. Hopefully I can aim it so it's either coming to me or I can get close enough to her, but if not, I can rip her off of something, because I've had the experience of you jump, you miss, you don't fall, you're just caught on something and dangling in the air.
Fair enough. All right, Othronus, to start this off, there's going to be a handful of checks here, but Othronus, to start us off, roll athletics, and this will be with advantage, since, you know, you're raging.
Don't know why I put that there. I'm looking over how our scarecrow's made. This is one of the one things I'm good at, and I didn't choose to be proficient in it, and I'm not sure why. For some reason, I'm proficient in something that gives me a barely anything. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but even though that's just
Was it because of your background? Because you have to
yeah, no, it was
go
more
in
a
and make,
background
custom
thing
background.
because I'd have to make a custom one because the proficiency and perception makes sense a little bit, but he wouldn't be the guy he wouldn't be the lookout kind of guy. He's the muscle. It would make sense that he knew a little bit of it for story wise, but canonically, athletics would have made more sense.
You know, funnily enough, it's literally written into your backstory that you were the lookout at one point, and that didn't end up going so well for you.
Yeah, no, it turns out that +2 doesn't do much.
I mean, it helped a little. It would have been if you rolled better.
I mean, yeah, maybe I would have made friends with the people who were murdered, shortly after.
Anyway.
Would that have made it better or worse?
Maybe it could have all been resolved so much better if you just had a higher perception. Probably not. Probably would have gone worse, frankly. But not for you. This is getting into other stuff. What was that?
No, it was 18 total.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Did
bad.
you want to say that? 18's pretty good. I think with that, yeah, I think actually no, that would be because I'll just kind of say I kind of calculated a maximum. I'm not trying to like say, oh no, you're only going to go into real world standards. You're only going to be able to throw like a maximum of like 15 feet in the air. I kind of when I think I'm going to go with 40 feet is the maximum, and I will say that you get that maximum here.
All right, and now the part to try and catch her, or to see if she gets caught or holds on to anything. Pretty close.
Yeah, so you're ready.
I threw her like right next to the building, but not at the building, so like we could see like a visual measurement of how like far she would get up. It's up to her to see what she does.
Cordelia.
Yes.
If you're going to try to like grab onto this building, I'm going to need I mean this is interesting. I will say a dexterity saving throw in this case.
Okay.
Which I think you are proficient in as a fighter.
19.
Nice. Sorry, you took a bite of something. I should be narrating. All right. So you are able to. I think it's a pipe that I think you kind of grab onto. It's kind of sticking out from this building. Oh, that's right. I actually have a visual aid that I prepared. It's not definitely not a 1-to-1, but this is like to try and like get the idea roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of the vibe. Sorry, it's loaded. There we go.
Okay.
Without all the stairs, I will also say I'm noticing now there's just like stairs and walkways and like balconies. It does not have a balcony. This does not have balconies, but it's kind of like stuff's shutting out. There's machinery. So this isn't going to be like you don't have any climbing equipment. But this is like something that you could, climb without the equipment. So what do you do now?
Okay, so how far up did I get?
You are about 40 feet up right now.
Okay, so
that's like 20 feet to go to get to that window.
okay, I've got about 20 feet to get up to that window. Did I try to jump?
You're gonna leap like just kind of like Spider-Man, like just leap up the building.
Yeah, is there something I can get a handhold and a foothold on?
I think you're able to kind of get like some of the. You're currently on this pipe. So I mean, you could do it from the pipe. It may not be the most optimal place to do it from, but are you going to try and like leap 20 feet in the air, or are you going to like do multiple leaps?
I was thinking
Climb, Cordelia, climb!
I've been climbing trees since the day I popped down the womb.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I would refute that one.
They don't need to know that.
I want them to think I'm cool. I've been climbing trees that long. So do you want to try and like leap do like some consecutive leaps, or are you going to climb?
I'll try to do some consecutive leaps. But if there's like really consistent handholds and footholds, then I'll just try to climb.
There are some pretty consistent handholds and footholds here.
Okay, then I'll just try to climb then.
Okay. I will have you here. I'm gonna here, let me roll some stuff. You can roll me in. Yeah, no, just athletics check at this point.
Okay.
For now.
There.
Oh, just then. With what I rolled, I was rolling to see like how, if like how many people are like congregating to kind of like view what's happening and like what their reaction would be, and I basically with what I had in mind, I just barely made it into like the realm of there are a handful of people noticing this, but at least for the moment, nobody really gives a shit.
Okay.
Like you, like Othronicela, like you see on the street, there's like a couple of people like there's like somebody that like raises an eyebrow. It's like, what the hell are you know what? I don't care.
Okay, so on my athletics check, I got a whopping 8.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a 21.
Okay, 21. You kind of like take a few I guess steps wouldn't be the right word, but like you climb up kind of a little bit, and like I think you like grab onto like a cog that just kind of like moves unexpectedly, and like like you almost drop, but you're able to like catch yourself like very quickly, so you didn't lose too much progress, but you didn't make too much progress either here.
Okay.
So go
slow and steady.
if you want to keep on climbing, go ahead and make another athletics check.
Okay. Twelve.
Sorry, sorry. I should probably save on that until we're done here. With a 12, you are able to kind of shimmy up a bit. It's, it's not like, I think you're still a little bit shaken, so you're still moving a bit slowly and kind of trying to find good footing and handholds. So I'll say you've made it about halfway.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll another athletics check.
Hey, that's a good one. 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you start climbing a bit more, let me just roll this one more time. Okay, yeah, no, that's still, people still do not give too many shits. So no, you're able to, you kind of gain a bit more confidence. Like I think you kind of work out like what is safe machinery, what is to climb on, what's a bit more rickety or unstable.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of by the end, I think you do kind of, you're not like vertically leaping up, but you are able to kind of like climb pretty confidently, and you kind of pull yourself up over the lip, and you're kind of on the roof now, kind of looking at this window.
Cool.
I will go back briefly to Othronus and Celia. You've seen her kind of make it up onto this building. I think... Let me roll again. Okay, yeah. You see down the road a little, a guard kind of rounds a corner and kind of seems to be meandering for a bit, but is heading your direction.
And that's our cue to go inside.
It is indeed. And I just pretend like everything that just happened was completely normal, and we just walk inside.
Yep,
Wouldn't it be normal?
exactly. It was 100% normal.
Cordelia, back to you briefly. You've made it to the top of this building. What would you like to do now?
So, am I on the roof or in front of a window now?
It's kind of like a moderate inclined roof with
Okay.
kind of a window sitting on top of the roof. And like,
Also a skylight.
yeah, it's like you're looking into an attic.
Oh, neat. Okay, yeah, I want to meander on over there, crawl over there, and look down, look in.
Look in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roll me a perception check.
Well, shysters. No, wait. Do I have luck at level 2 now? Or do I have...
Luck? Do you mean
Let me
halfling
see.
luck?
Yeah, halfling luck. Is there
Yeah,
an
Did you
halfling
roll
luck,
a
you-
1?
No, you
Or
get
two.
that at level 1, so it's every
Yeah.
time you roll a natural 1. So
Okay, I thought that it got boosted to where it applied at 2 or something. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at my stuff in a while.
no, it does not. You do not get that same effect with 2s.
Okay,
It
so
basically 2s become the lowest you can roll.
Okay, yep. I rolled a 2 then. Must be
I
very
must be-
dusty up there. Or maybe somebody whacks me upside the head so I can't see. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would say you're probably pretty spot on with the first one. There is a decent amount of dust. You see, like, you actually see like the light of like some kind of flickering, like maybe a candle or a lantern or something in there. You're not entirely certain,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't really make out what's going on in there, what the scene is exactly.
Can I like wipe it clean? And just peek in? Or is the dirt on the inside?
Yeah, you try it a little bit. It does seem to be kind of dust. You get a little bit off, but the majority of the dust is on the inside, it appears.
Okay.
What would you like to do now?
Can this window be opened?
Let me roll for something actually. You kind of examine this window, and at least from what you can see, this window does appear to be openable. You kind of go to, and it seems you're not entirely certain if it's either like locked or if it's just jammed. But it's not easily openable, so I will kind of leave this if you want to investigate more into this, if you want to just try and force this open, or if you want to try and like do something to open this, like, you know.
Yeah, I would like to try to like wedge a knife in there. If it's locked, like really work at it, yanking and whatnot. Just a bunch of different little methods to see if I can pop it open.
Okay. Real quick, can I get can you remind me what your passive perception is?
10.
10? Okay. Let me just roll a couple things. Okay. 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 I think you kind of go to wedge this, and you can make a sleight of hand roll
Mm-hmm.
And since you don't need thieves' tools since you are like wedging a knife in this scenario, so it works in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I will make that. Oh, I was gonna say I'm gonna make it a little bit harder, but with an 18, you're able to get that. I was also gonna say you do kind of notice that that guard is about to come in, so you're able to kind of get this kind of like unstuck, so you can open up further and go in, or you can wait out here. But you see that guard is going to be here soon and may end up spotting you. So
okay, well, I will go in, and I've got some rope. I can start to lower myself down into the room.
All right.
Find an anchoring point around a chimney, and
are you? Well, here, let me just roll one more thing real quick. Okay, I know. You open this up a bit more, and you realize you don't need to rappel down. It seems to be you are kind of in an attic of some kind.
Okay, so it's not tall. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's not like you like opened up a window in like a cathedral and like you're at like the top of a cathedral and you have to like climb your way down past the rafters.
I'll just jump in.
Yeah. We are going to definitely get back to that briefly here, but I'm going to pick up with Othronus and Celia as you enter through the main doors. Is that what you are doing?
Yep.
All right.
I believe so, yeah.
How do you enter the building? I'm not. I mean, if you do want to answer that, feel free.
Kick the door in, dodge. I'm just kidding. I'm just walking normally.
I was about to say, like, you can Billy and Mandy this.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to
wide open? It's like it was open.
You're not gonna like open up the door like as you like crack open the door like with just your hand. It's like you're standing kind of like on the other end, peering through. No, I'm what the? Okay, I'm trying to jump between a different. Okay, there we go. Inside, I also have a reference image in a similar vein of not a one-to-one. In fact, I think this one was like it's a little nonsensical because I think somebody made it with AI. I just found it on Pinterest, but this is the vibe that is in there at the moment. It is kind of this. You see, it's kind of like very much. It feels like a workshop more than a temple. There's on this kind of first floor there's like this rows of displays of what appear to be different creations, whether they're the creations themselves or models of what may appear to be larger creations that are being displayed. There are a number of windows. You were able to see like some of like the windows. There, you can kind of notice now they were blocked by some of the machinery, but there is still like at this point it would be moonlight or street lights, but there is kind of light illuminating the interior of this building. You see a spiral staircase at the end of the room leading up, and you see the next 2 stories above you are what appear to be kind of from the angle that you're currently looking at them, not displays, but they appear to be kind of work counters, and it does appear like work does happen in this temple as well. And you know that there's at least a few stories above from what you can see. You're not entirely certain what is, above at this point, but it's kind of like, again, it's like This first floor, there's kind of like a hole in the next 2 stories that you can like kind of see up through, and there's a spiral staircase at the far end, and there's kind of a few more floors above you. I will kind of note a few as you're kind of as the two of you are walking in at the moment. You see probably like 24 or so marble pedestals or various displays. Some of them aren't in pedestals, some of them have slightly different displays. But each one actually you see kind of has an inscription, and as you kind of look at them, it seems that these are all like prize-winning inventions, or, again, models of those creations. A few that stand out, there is like a 4-foot tall, like working model of a clock tower. That its inscription notes that it rings at the top of every hour, like a real clock tower. Made from wood, iron, bronze, and glass, with just tiny wood, like brass bells, and delicate hands formed from solid gold. And you see a handful of other ones that I may get to in a moment, but that's the one I think closest to you as you look at this. You also see kind of... I think Siler needed to dip out for a moment. We have had a question. Audio issues. Hello.
Nope.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay. Everything suddenly went completely quiet, and I knew something was wrong.
Nope. What was the last thing you heard?
You were describing, well, essentially how everything was getting done here. It was 10 seconds ago, tops.
Okay. Did you hear like the beginnings of the description of one of the inventions that's on display, or was it kind of description of the room?
You were finishing up the room and then starting to talk about how like it was being worked on, like the inventions, or then it kind of cut out.
Okay, yeah. No, it seems like there is space on the 2 floors above to work on, like, as a workshop. It seems that there are kind of a smattering of various people that may be up there. You can't see all that well, but it doesn't seem like it's in full swing at the moment. This kind of main floor appears to be full of like inventions that have won prizes, about 24. And you actually see, and I may kind of describe some of those in a minute, but there is a woman actually that kind of turns her attention from a conversation that she was having to these new guests that have arrived, the 2 of you. Let me actually add her to the NPCs a little bit, but I'll just put her art in channel. This bronze dragonborn. She appears to be, she is bespectacled and appears to be some kind of priestess, though her garb is a bit more utilitarian than many others. Along with what's wearing there, she's also got a bit of like an apron with some tools kind of tucked away. She's got gloves that she's actually kind of, taking off at the moment and kind of storing in a pocket on this apron. And she makes her way over and asks, "How may I help you? Are you seeking something in particular? It is a late hour and we are actually getting ready to close up shop, but is there something I may help you with?"
I turn over to Celia and says, how great are you with conversation? Because I'm looking at myself like I'm okay-ish, but just to make sure.
Are you saying this like after she's already addressed you? As the both of you?
Are you asking this out like in character, or are you asking this out of character?
No, this is in character. Like I essentially just like lean over. So would you like to take this one? Because I do love a good conversation. You know, I'd hate to step on your toes if you're raring to go.
Oh, no, if you're raring to go, I don't want to damper your fun. By all means.
Do you
You
have
just give you a
something you wish
smile.
to add?
A couple of things. Some possibly related, others just a raw curiosity.
Well, did you actually see a little bit of a smile kind of creep across her face? I find that the best curiosity is of the rawest variety.
Excellent. Now, one, and this is just going to sound odd, I know, but when in Waterdeep. Strange figure. I've sighted a few times on the roofs. Not too uncommon, I suppose, but it's the roofs. And its general shape being humanoid, but its movements seeming almost not necessarily mechanical in nature, but off to the normal. And he just, flexes his own arm like the way it would normally stretch.
She actually is kind of like nodding along and like almost seems a little solemn at the moment. It's like, did you spot him on this? And kind of points up on this roof. Did he cause any trouble?
This roof? Well, my question is, how unique would he be?
I can actually take you upstairs. He can create a bit of mischief at times, but he means well. If you'd like.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
If you're asking about uniqueness, he was a gift several years back from a wizard from the island of Flantan. We refer to him as Nim, short for Nimblewright. But
Nim, short for Nimblewright.
Nimblewright is what he is. How about I take you upstairs, show you what his condition is? Did he do something just now?
Well, like I said, I saw him, that matching the description I gave you. I just wanted to know how unique he was, because there's a chance, and this I'll just be rolling deception, I believe he could possibly be a witness to something, as people describe seeing something similar as well to him during a small incident happened.
Witness? Well,
possible witness.
I'm sure his testimony will be interesting. She kind of chuckles. Let me take you upstairs, and if you have some questions for him, is this the
deception of 21?
Okay, yeah, no, 21. All right. Well,
I'm not trying to straight up accuse. Hey, I think you're harboring the person who bombed my friend's shop, and hurt one of my very close friends. We need to have words.
We need to have words. Oh, this is going to be interesting. She kind of nods along and says, "Well, I certainly have questions, but I'm sure they will come up as things develop. Would you mind giving me a moment to go just check in with something, and then I'll take you right up.
Not a problem. Insight check.
Insight check. Go ahead and roll insight. Into kind of what are you like? What if you would like to describe what you're inciting into?
My inciting is: does she seem nervous or fidgety now that I've trying to call out or get a quick meeting with her friend? Like, does it look like it's something she's going to try to? She's nervous about, or something she'd be like excited about? But while looking in there, I unfortunately my eyes do like a quick just overview, because how accurate is this? The little art you gave us to what she's wearing, besides like the extra stuff you gave us.
It's I'd say probably the top half of her outfit is close. The bottom half, it's a robe, but it's not like quite as feathery. I am gonna be honest, I didn't realize that the what that looked like until I had already saved that, and I like the art of it, but
I do, and seeing that, even if it's not really what's happening, there's a current image going in my mind. That's why I focus on the outfit really quickly, and I'm just giving a quick side eye to Celia, and then there's just some inner workings in my mind, and I rolled a 4 on that insight, and I'm working on something else completely different.
Yeah, you got distracted. There's also, I don't know if you guys your eyes are being caught by any of the weird inventions that they have in here.
Oh yeah, no, the raw curiosity was like an entire question I was hoping to ask her.
Yeah.
And just to make sure, she is blocking the stairway up, right?
She's actually she heads back in that direction. It looks like she's going to go in kind of. You're not certain if it's speak with something or note something down, but she is kind of headed in that direction. She is still within eyesight of that. I'm gonna go ahead and, because they give you a handful of descriptions for these a handful of these inventions. Some of them, a handful, are kind of a bit more boring ones. And I will jump back to Cordelia here in a moment.
I can skip the whole what my questions would be if it'd make it easier, because this is something he's been having in his head since he met Cordelia, and it's just been brewing in his head, slowly, coming together.
Interesting. I'd said the first one before, but I think it had dropped. The internet had dropped out for Siler. For him hearing that. So I'm just gonna repeat these. 4-foot tall model of a clock tower that rings at every hour. It is made out of wood, iron, bronze, and glass, with brass bells and delicate hands formed from solid gold. Second one that catches the eye is some kind of wooden flying machine that actually seems to be perhaps magically animated. Its wings flap when it becomes airborne. It seems like the mechanics would make sense. It's just kind of flying in place in this kind of on this pedestal. Most of these, I will also add, do have kind of glass casing, so you can't just pocket these necessarily. I mean, you could. It's just going to be a little harder.
Now, why would we want to steal them? I wonder.
Why would you want to steal anything? Certainly not 500,000 gold.
Oh, question. Do I still have the little bird?
Yes, actually, you do. You did not bring it up, and I forgot. I don't know if you have it in your hand or.
Yeah, it would still be in my hand.
Okay.
We definitely got some questions.
Priestess will probably bring that up. Third of these kind of 5 that are standing out is actually a miniature model of what appears to be a mechanical dragon turtle that has a brass plate affixed to its pedestal that reads, Big Belchy sank in Deepwater Harbor on the Day of Wonders in 1363 DR, which would be just a little over 120 years ago. Actually, a little under 119, I believe. The next one actually, and this will be interesting. It doesn't have this one's actually not in a pedestal, and not actually no, it is on a pedestal. It does not have glass, but it does appear to have some sort of cord attaching it to the pedestal. It is labeled the Waking Helmet, and it kind of again, it's this helmet that has this kind of design on the sides, kind of affixed to it of hands, and it actually has a sign on me called inviting you to try me. Do either of you try on the helmet?
I mean, would it fit with my horns? I don't.
That actually is a good point. I would say, I guess, probably not. You may be able to actually, you know what? I think it does. It has this sort of design where it kind of has the area it would you'd have to slide it on.
Does it have an Iron Man kind of it actually clicks almost half open from the top to fit in horns?
I've got a shape in mind, or the front of the forehead kind of goes forward, then it has kind of this section on the sides where you could fit it off, and then it had.
Because I'm wondering how magical tech is this, or when it feels like something's not going to fit right, it adjusts to itself automatically to fit.
Depends on how magical it is or how tech it is.
Yeah, if it senses someone's about to put on and this person has horns, which can happen occasionally in the city, okay, it knows to split its little top open for some horns to fit through. Or does it just magically sink through
them? Sorry. Would either of you like to try on the helmet?
Ladies first, if you want. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to attempt.
She does not try on the helmet. She's scared that if she lets this bird go, it's going to fly away. So she kind of has a pretty solid grip on it.
This bird actually, I think we did cover this. It seems to have
Yeah, she doesn't know if it's going to turn on again.
Whiplash. Yeah, that is fair. That is a fair concern. So is Althranis trying on this helmet?
He is indeed trying on this helmet.
You try on this helmet and you're a little confused because nothing happens for a moment. I think it's
Does it fit? Does as I shimmy it on to try to, does it is it that it fits like an Iron Man helmet, adjusting to my size, or does it look like I'm wearing a little hat?
It kind of it's one size fits all. No, it's a little probably tighter than you'd like, and you're not certain if something's supposed to happen for a moment, until Celia, you actually see this. The kind of hands actually kind of begin to animate, and they kind of become these kind of small metal arms that kind of animate and kind of come to the side for a moment, and then Othranis, they just kind of start gently slapping you they're slapping you away. It's the Waking Helmet. So I don't know how long you let that go on.
Depends. Like, am I taking any damage? Or is this like just a baby slapping me in the face?
This is not dealing any damage. It like, I think it like slowly ramps up. So it's like like the first couple are like baby slaps, and then like it kind of gets in like, okay, yeah, now after a while it's starting to sting a little bit, but it kind of like levels out. You're not taking any damage. It's just like
Annoying.
stinging your cheeks a little. You would get the idea that like this would be about the right amount to not like deal any damage, but it would wake you up if you fell asleep while wearing this helmet.
Yeah, just enough of a nudge. I was honestly
let out a little giggle.
I was half expecting this to be like and now you could just glimpse some like surface thoughts of like whoever's around you for some reason. That's why I was a little afraid, but also hoping someone else would try it on. But this is also hilarious. So I'm taking this off, trying as best as I can, and it's a bad case of helmet hair until he fixes it.
Gotta unruffle your hair. Does
Are
Celia
you
reach out
awake
and
now,
hair?
Athronis?
I'm actually a little sleepier.
We'll have to leave some feedback then. It looks like this one might be defective.
The helmet like just like kind of like snaps, like the hand like animates on its own, and like it just kind of like snaps like 3 times, and then like points at you, and then like does like the I'm watching you sort of thing.
Okay, see, now if you can do this gesture, let me know. How difficult would it be to make like, and this is just an idea for, let's say, if you wanted to roll just a quick one on somebody. You gave this to them, and you let them think that all you did was slap them awake, but it's also just randomly flipping people off when they don't notice.
That would be an interesting addition.
Yeah, either like as a defective version or as a joke version.
I think you're kind of...
Does it flip him off in response?
It actually is returned to its inanimate state.
Okay, you know what? It's an idea. It's an idea, because the best kind of thing is to give this... I don't know if I've got the stats from that as my thing. Like, I'm looking at my stats.
That's anti-artificer stats. Oh yeah, I do. I think this dragonborn woman kind of like makes her way back over and kind of like does like a hand motion of like kind of like you can kind of come over now. She kind of makes her like comes over like a little bit and kind of like waves you over.
Alrighty then.
You walk over.
Yeah.
I
Before
do,
they go,
like that.
yes, Celia does reach up and fix Athronis' hair.
Aww.
And then she'll go.
Actually roll. Could I get both of your perception bonuses?
Perception bonus?
Yes.
+2.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no,
I mean, passive is not great. The same thing. It's +2 for like my perception.
So I'll keep that in mind, or try to keep that in mind for future. I like the idea. I'm gonna try doing it a bit more of rolling instead of like just doing passive, like passive sometimes, but like also rolling for you guys instead of like prompting ahead of time. But both of you, I rolled well enough for both of you that you both, as you're kind of walking over, you notice kind of one more that also catches the eye. It's a little bit less wacky, but it seems to be a miniature model of some kind of red-colored submersible. shaped like a manta ray. It's got a brass
Does it have a
plate.
tiny Xbox controller with it?
No, it's got a life-size one, and you'd imagine that the real one would be huge. No. No, it's got kind of a brass plate, just kind of noting down kind of the plaque, or it's a plaque that reads the Scarlet Marnepiloth. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll just send it just for simplicity's sake instead of trying to say it. And you note down, actually, Celia, you definitely note this down. It's a Lantanese submersible launched in 1489 DR. That would be about 3 years ago from your, time.
Huh.
That. Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's a pretty neat looking red manta ray looking submarine. So you continue on towards this dragonborn woman. It says, "Sorry about the wait. Are you ready to go up now?"
Yeah, I think we are.
Yes. I should. Oh,
Definitely.
I should also. How rude of me! I have done. My name is Valletta. I'm a priestess here. Worked on some projects, and I kind of helped take care of the place. So. If you have any questions, just feel free to let me know. And with no questions being asked, she leads the way upstairs.
I was gonna ask, is this when I ask my difficult questions, or should I wait until afterward?
Do it now. Cordelia can wait,
you can
she's
ask
fine.
other questions, but yeah. You can think on some of the questions that you may want to ask while you're walking up the stairs, but we are going to hop back over to Cordelia and catch
Yeehaw.
up with her.
How much have you stolen? Tell me you cleaned this place out.
No, I've been a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're not a rogue yet, but you're getting there.
I'm sorry, Althronus, I don't get to graduate from Rogue College.
How could you? So you are able to go ahead and roll a stealth check and a perception check.
That's cocked. I'm sorry, stealth?
Stealth and perception, both of them.
Okay. For stealth, that's a 11. Perception, oh yeah, that's a 1. I can re-roll it. Perception, 8 plus 0, 8.
8. Okay, we're rolling the hot tonight. I mean, probably better that you rolled better when you were climbing the side of a building. Because if you had failed that dexterity saving throw, you would have gone splat.
Yeah.
Or if you had rolled low enough.
That was kind of my question. Once you were free, didn't you bring up the rope and tie it onto anything so when you fell, you wouldn't hit the ground immediately?
I may or may not have forgotten about that.
But you made it. I assume you've pulled the rope up after you, and you've got it stored now, and you don't just have a trail of rope leading out behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've got it pulled up.
Okay. You said it was an 11 on perception, and what was it on stealth? Oh, wait, no, it was 11 on stealth.
An 8 on perception.
8 on perception. Okay. All right, well, that's interesting. Let me check some stuff. Okay. You kind of enter this through this window into a cluttered attic of what appears to be filled with various, like crates, but also just kind of loose odds and ends, like would appear to be like materials of some kind. Like you see tools, you see just like various gears and like metal plating and screws and many other things, just kind of not organized very neatly.
Yeah.
You do, however, something else that does catch your mind, or catch your mind, your eye.
My fire, no!
You see Silas Duncan with an AK-47 pointed right at your face. No. No, you do not.
Okay.
No, what's worse? It's that thing we were chasing. It's you see it turning like it opens up like Iron Man armor, and it's Silas Duncan inside.
No, you tie him up and you pull off like a mask, Scooby-Doo style.
Oh my.
I wouldn't have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling halfling.
Yeehaw! Justice
Meddling.
prevails. Okay, so there's
No,
various platings and gears and
various what you would assume to be materials and tools, perhaps for inventions, like a stockpile. Nothing that like catches your eye in particular with that roll, I don't think. But you do see on the far side of this room, you saw a candle or the light of a candle through the window before, but now you see it is a candle, and it is seated on a desk, and on the far side of that desk, or no, not on the far side, sitting at the desk, appears to be this strange-looking figure. It seems to be working on something, though you can't tell what. It looks like this with a few alterations. It is not wielding anything in its hand, and you do not see its face at the moment, and it does not appear to be wearing a hat. It's just, and it doesn't really have like, that does have like a loose hair pattern under, but it's not like, it's very rigid looking, kind of, features. It appears to be made out of some kind of wooden material. You're not entirely certain. You said it was a... Yeah, okay, I know. It was an 11 stealth and then an 8. Right,
perception.
8. So yeah, you're not able to make out too much more of the situation at the moment. You don't seem to have caught this thing's attention quite yet. And you're kind of just on the, like, right after you got through this window, you are now in this attic.
Okay. Can I see what this guy is doing? Is he at a desk?
It does appear to be at a desk. You can't quite tell what it seems to be working on or with at the moment. I will also add, or I'll also ask, are you closing the window behind you, or are you leaving it open?
I'm leaving it open for now.
Okay. So you can get closer to see if see what's going on, but I will also request another stealth and another perception. Actually, no, I'll just say another stealth.
Okay. Well, I'll come a little closer. So, all right, 12 plus 4. So 16 stealth.
Okay, it did not roll well. You kind of peer over this thing's shoulder, and this seems to be not just a desk, but a workbench of some sort.
Yeah.
It's got various tools. It's kind of like bouncing between a handful of different materials. This seems to be some kind of. What was the total you said? 16? Could you repeat that? I saw your name light up.
Yeah, 16. 16.
Okay. Could be that. Wait, no. It appears to be some kind of mechanical frog, is what it appears to be. Some kind of small creature. You see it trying to wind the spring that would work as part of the jumping mechanism for its leg.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to that sparrow in terms of it's not necessarily the most lifelike, but it does seem to have this intricate sort of design that he's working on.
Yeah.
You're not right over his shoulder right now, but you're I'd say probably about 10 feet away from this thing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
Part of me wants to just ask him what he's doing. Just real casual, like I'm supposed to be here. And fake my way through this. Probably not the most wise decision. It does sound fun.
What would Cordelia want to do?
Offer them some tea.
Which I don't think you have the tea on you, but there may be alternatives. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually also add one other thing that you notice on this desk is a miniature sort of chalkboard that with some chalk kind of mounted onto the side. It's kind of it looks like whatever was on there has been erased, at least for the moment. Erase it. Yeah. But you do also kind of note that down on the side of the desk.
Okay, so there's a chalkboard with some chalk. Are there plans drawn on the chalkboard, or is it blank?
It is blank. Well, it's foggy, so it looks like there was something written on there, and it's been erased since then.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it's seen quite a bit of use.
Okay. Well then.
I'm gonna roll one more time for this thing. Okay, with that, go ahead and you can go ahead and roll another stealth check at this point. I'm just kind of prompting this again to see, kind of since you've been kind of observing here.
That is a 21. Sorry.
Damn. Okay. No. It rolled well, but not that well. So no, you still have the moment.
Okay, gosh, what to do? Ew. Is he the only one in this room right now?
Are you looking around the room a bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of look around. I'll go ahead and say either roll perception or investigation. I'll give you that option at this point.
Okay, that's a 1. Really getting my Hobbit look used.
Oh, that is fair.
8 perception.
8. Okay. You do see, it does seem like decently crowded, but it doesn't, you're not noticing any people in there, any other, like, creatures. Excuse me. I will note, though, with that, you do kind of see, kind of on the opposite end of this, there is a door. It looks like kind of like it's not like a, how would I put this? There's like a few steps down. It looks like this door is kind of built between like a landing between like stairs that lead up, and then like there's this door, and then there's a few more steps to kind of get into the attic proper. So you'd be stepping down a little bit to get to the door.
Okay.
I think with an 8 you wouldn't notice.
I can just roll like one of those sphere droids with the guns. Like, roll, then go down towards the stairs.
Roll down the stairs. I mean, you can just get like a sled and just like, like a little kid slide down the stairs. So yeah, what would you like to do?
Guys, should I try to talk to him or not? What do you think?
Are you asking me?
The team.
You could share out of game opinions, but they're also not there.
I mean, I'm not there, but like if I was, I would totally just ask.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tap his shoulder and ask, so what are you doing?
Okay, I have a question for that now. How did you do that? Like, I was looking at this like normal size. Is he like Cordelia size for that?
Jump.
That's true. Maybe it's a tap on his leg, like Tin Man, ting ting ting.
Oh, it's made of wood.
Right.
So you're just like again like sneaking up and you're just like tapping and it's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. That's the plan. Didn't say it was a good one.
I will say this is just size-wise, it is a little bit smaller than what you'd say like an average human would probably be. So it's bigger than you, but it's not like overwhelmingly big. It's definitely not Athronis-sized. And since it's sitting down, you could probably like tap it on the. You could get to its shoulder, I would say, or at least like upper arm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me roll to see what this thing's reaction is.
Destroy. Terminate.
This thing, I mean, with a creature that would have skin, you'd say it would have, like, jumped out of its skin, but since it is missing it, it just kind of, like, jumps in its seat. It was very much not expecting that. And, like, kind of, like, it... I mean, we'll still roll another thing. Oh, man. Oh, that's a nat 1. In part
does it fall apart?
Jumping, it falls apart like a Lego person in one of the Lego games. No, it does. You know when you like get startled and you just kind of like throw whatever you have in your hands. So in one hand it had like a wrench that it was working on this thing with. On the other hand, it had the whole frog, or like the frog thing that it was working on. So both of those go flying into the air and just kind of clatter onto the floor. Let me Let me roll to see if this rock survives or how bad of a condition it's in, or if it's perfectly fine. Oh, it's perfectly fine. It kind of like skitters across the floor a bit, but it seems to be all right still. This creature being, whatever this thing is almost like kind of running up its chair, like a little scared and like startled in this kind of moment. And it again, like you're getting a better look at this. Its face, it is made of wood. It is rigid. It does not like have the capacity to emote with its face, but its body language is very much startled. And like it kind of like cocks its head to the side a little bit, like what's going on?
Oh, well, hi there, friend. There's no reason to be scared.
It's still like leaning back in this chair. It just kind of like slowly nods.
Listen, my name's Cordelia Barman, and I saw that you were working on something here, and I just wanted to say howdy.
It just kind of nods again and just like kind of slowly gets up, still keeping like its head kind of face towards you. But like it kind of like goes to go and pick up the frog thing that it was working on. Do you kind of do anything or say anything at the moment?
Can I help him pick up the frog?
If you wanted to like
bring it to him.
If you wanted to like go and it is currently, the frog I will also mention is inanimate. It does not seem to be active.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. You'd say like turned on or live or what it would be, but it does not seem to be animate. So yeah, you're able to kind of wander over and pick up the this frog thing. And again, like in your hand, it does feel cold, but you can kind of, and both visually and also tactically, like feeling wise, you can note down this is some fairly intricate craftsmanship. Care was put into this.
Ooh, my, well, ain't this pretty? This is really neat, sir.
I think as you go and pick this up and kind of, carefully pick this up and kind of compliment, you see its posture kind of soften a bit. Still a little tense, but it doesn't seem to be right on edge.
Can you talk?
It kind of looks down a bit and shakes its head no.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know how to ride?
It reaches for the chalkboard that you saw on the deck.
Yeah, I have a new friend. I will protect this thing with my life. It's adorable. The fact that it's mute, I don't know why, makes it 10 times cuter.
You relate to its, empathize with its struggle of not being able to communicate, and also, being expressive. So yeah, no, this thing reaches for this chalkboard and kind of starts scratching something into it for a moment. And after a moment, it kind of turns it towards you, and on it is written in not like perfect handwriting, but it's like very like clean, legible sort of handwriting. I am Nim, comma, who are you? Question mark.
My name is Cordelia Barman. I was just noticing that you were doing some neat work here, and I wanted to check it out. I didn't mean to frighten you.
You see it kind of like cock its head again and like kind of go and erase that message and starts scratching down another message.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of it turns this chalkboard again towards you and is asking, you came through the window, kind of questioningly, or like again with another question mark, and is just kind of like pointing towards the window over there.
Oh, that's right. I didn't close it. Or no, I did close it. Or no,
No, you didn't.
I didn't. Okay. And she'll just chuckle. Oh, I came up the stairs. You just didn't see me. Looks like you're really focused in what you were doing.
He kind of like puts the like not like puts the chalkboard down, but he like kind of like turns it downwards, and he just like he shakes his head like it's like, no, you didn't.
Well, see, I didn't know whether I'd be able to get in here after hours and all, and well, I guess I did.
Again, it's kind of like, again, it does not have a face, does not have a mouth or lungs, but it just kind of like looks like it's taking a sigh.
Incredulous.
It's back in its it's back in its chair now, and it's like kind of like got its hands on its knees a bit. Nim kind of like looks over kind of at something kind of on the far end of his desk, and it scratches something again into this chalkboard, and is kind of turns again towards you and is asking, sorry, no, I'm now I'm blanking. It asks, "Can I show you something?"
Well, sure. Just gonna pick her up and show her the way out, isn't it?
And he lifts you up and he chucks you out the window. No.
Let me help you get back down, bro.
No, I'm kidding. Let's see. It kind of reaches over to the like this drawer on like the far side of the desk, and it pulls something out that I don't think you recognize at first. It does, I think, with the pet. If you let me roll a perception check for you.
Hmm?
Okay, that was a 5 plus 0, 5. You don't see exactly what it does here, but it kind of like releases, like kind of shows his hand after a moment, like doing something, and you see this millipede, like similar to the sparrow and the frog. You see this millipede that's kind of like gently scurrying around his head and kind of like seems to be another animated sort of construct of some kind. And it kind of like starts crawling around his hand a little. Well,
that's cute. So you make all these little critters?
He shakes his head yes. But after kind of pausing, kind of like a contemplative like nod to the side, kind of like looks back towards you and kind of puts a finger to his mouth, kind of in the the sort of gesture, but like, not like shushing you, but like kind of like putting it to his mouth.
Oh. Is it a secret?
He nods his head again.
Are you the secret?
He shakes his head no.
Then why are these things secret?
He kind of offers to pass this sort of millipede creature over to you.
Uh-huh.
Do you accept?
Oh yeah, I'll let it crawl over my hands.
So, fun little scurrying. It doesn't like hurt, but it is, it's kind of crawling around your hand a little.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to write again on. He grabs that chalkboard again. He writes on it for a moment. He turns it back over towards you, and it says, "I am just supposed to be the creation, not the created." Or, no, sorry. I'm just supposed to be the creation, not
the
the creator. Not be a creator.
Oh, well, that's a darn shame. You seem awful talented.
He kind of erases his kind of note on this chalkboard again and kind of scratches briefly this time. And he kind of turns it towards you and it says, "I have been lonely up here. These have been my friends."
Oh, I'm gonna kidnap him and take him home.
Oh god, I'm so afraid by the time we get up there, they're gone. And this is gonna be like, help me find my friend. This is terrible. Alert the guard.
Cordelia's kidnapping everyone.
And he's just gonna be he'll be chilling at our house.
Yeah.
With like the city watch looking.
Okay, then Cordelia is just gonna little lip quiver and just like, you're alone? You're lonely?
Oh man. I think at this point we're going to hop back over to Othronus and Celia. You again, you have that opportunity if you have any questions that you would like to ask as you're making your way to the top of these stairs. Valenta was the name of the Dragonborn priestess.
Valenta. The Zims in the back of my head is screaming at her, just tell him let's go on an adventure, just for like a quick night. And you guys just put us out the window. You've got 50 feet of rope to just, safely go down.
Jump out with him. Your guy's okay. Your guys will be fine. He'll be fine.
Just let him just walk around normally and freak everybody out. Like, no stealth roof walking, just like strut it down Las Vegas Boulevard.
Oh man. So do you have any questions for Valenta at the moment?
Yes, I do. Oh god. That's out of my system now. No, it's not. It's just pushed to the back.
That's also fair.
Okay. One of my earlier questions would be how familiar they would be with the functioning of firearms.
Firearms? They're a quizzical contraption. I've certainly heard of them. I don't believe that there are many in the city. I have heard of them. I believe I've seen one once. I would love to study one, though.
Yeah, got a friend who might be able to help you with that. She's attached to hers, but I'm sure she'll have to explain. Or she's probably one of the few who would know.
Really?
But my question is because I do see it does give her a great amount of range when and if she requires it. But I'm noticing that its main focus, the way I see it made, is accuracy over the more physical aspect. And I'm wondering if there's a way to modify or create one that was built with strength in mind.
Strength in mind.
Yes.
Something that...
So, not to forego accuracy, but to make it a secondary, possibly third, in place of more raw power and possibly lessening the range a bit, but more.
I know what you're asking for.
I do, and this is how you this is how you plant the seeds. You got to plant the seeds. You got to be patient.
Yeah. I've got one in my back pocket just for you. No, not in this situation, at least.
You got to make this shit.
Yes. She kind of thinks for a moment, and a bit quizzically, and I'm certain something would be possible from what I've heard. Though I may wish to look for a few... I've heard and seen several schematics, but I would love to see one in person so that I may understand its workings a bit better. Not the general concept, but the specifics. Granted, any invention requires quite a bit of trial and error, but the creation of weapons specifically can be a bit destructive, especially from what I understand of the firearm variety.
Well, it is meant to be destructive indeed. I've seen a few used, and I've only used one once.
Really?
It was great, but like the great many weapons, you must, devote a good amount of time to its perfection.
Yes. Well, a sword, you can understand its balance just by holding it. But
indeed, know when and where to strike with it, but
any sort of firearm you...
Sorry, what?
Any sort of firearm you must fire it many a time before you can be certain of its accuracy.
Not just its accuracy, but your own. I've seen
function.
Even a finished product, you yourself are not attuned, like with an arrow. You're likely to hit the tree on the side.
I'd love to speak a bit more about this later, but it seems that you had some questions you wished to ask.
Right. That was one of them. The other, and this one is more in the mechanical sense, that odd-looking wooden contraption with that looked like a bird almost.
Are you referring to the wooden flying machine? The model that you saw?
Yes. Yeah, the wooden flying machine model.
Okay. What about it?
Now, is that a prototype indicating that someone could attempt to fly, or is that just a demonstration of how those creatures with wings do fly?
It was a prototype. Well, the idea was to model it off of various creatures that were able to fly, and potentially that it may be able to fly perhaps a few people at a time, probably to start out with until it was more refined, at least just the one person. But to fly them for short distances. It worked best with wind, and otherwise was more gliding for some distances, but it has been abandoned by its creator for other projects.
Interesting.
Maybe not abandoned. A lot of our creators
they've moved focus.
They jump between many different projects, so it is just as likely for him to stop the project that he's currently working on to work on that again, or to start an entirely new project. Are you there?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
see you. Oh, okay.
Wasn't sure if that was everything or not.
Any other quick questions? Celia, did you have any? And as you're climbing up the stairs?
She would have questions. I think primarily she would ask, have any of your inventions gone missing the past couple days?
Oh, we keep a fine inventory here. Don't believe any would have gone missing. We have checks and measures to make sure things are not stolen. Though, is there something you think may have happened?
Not too sure, but just wondering if any maybe human-like creations have gone missing.
Oh, human-like. Are you referring to Nim?
Does he go missing every now and then?
Oh no. He doesn't leave. The temple is his home, but he tends to stay in the attic most of the time.
But he never leaves on his own. Usually one of you would know, someone would be with him.
Well, that would be quite impossible. He I know it may sound a bit harsh, but he can't leave.
Why can't he leave?
Is he physically incapable of leaving? Is there like a barrier to prevent him? Is it part of how he was made, or what he does, or what he has to do?
You guys are actually she kind of stops. You guys are getting close to the kind of top of the staircase. You can kind of see the door kind of wrapping up around the corner.
A sad thought just crossed my mind. What if he's like clockwork on the inside of some sort? So like if he doesn't come back to wind himself, he just stops.
Oh no!
Forever.
He just dies.
Well,
or he has to come back to like whatever's keeping him powered. So like he has to charge himself, but he's only good for maybe.
Because Athronis, he asked kind of like what the mechanism was keeping him here. Celia, did you have a question as well that you asked kind of at that moment?
No, it'd be kind of similar to Athronis's.
Similar, okay. Everybody's talked about. I'm curious what you said, Heidi, there.
Oh, I said not on my watch. As in, like, he has to stay here.
Not
jailbreak time.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town.
She kind of pauses in a little bit of a hushed voice. You actually, if I'm not gonna make you guys roll, there was a little bit of a thud a couple of moments ago from above you, like something may have fallen on the floor.
Oh wow, I wonder what that could be.
Huh.
Something frog sounding. No.
Hopefully that wasn't anything breaking.
Wait, like on the below us, like where we just came from?
No, above you, in the attic.
Okay, so above us in the attic, but below. Okay.
It was just for context, that was actually no. I wanted to be cheeky.
If we don't know, we don't know.
I wanted to be cheeky, but it wouldn't work out time wise because that was one of the first few things that happened with Cordelia's interactions with Nim, and then you guys also
maybe we're here talking more. I mean, if we hear something, we'll start talking.
Yeah, something like that. I more just kind of wanted to be cheeky and have that included, but the priestess Valletta. No. No, it is Valletta. Okay, send it out. Valletta. I can speak names. It's not that hard of a name.
I swear, I've done this before.
I have. The priestess Valletta, she kind of turns with kind of a bit of a, not like whispering or anything, but like kind of hushed since you're kind of close to this door. He's a bit touchy on it. It's a regulation. He was a gift, I think I mentioned, from a Lantanese wizard for the Day of Wonders. But, well...
Great question.
You can roll Arcana checks if you want, the two of you.
Sure.
I was going to ask, would there be a history check? Because I'm thinking those would be some good enforcers for certain kind of people.
I'll say sure. Go ahead and roll
I'm
history.
good with Arcana. Not a great roll.
That makes sense.
14.
All right. Not too shabby. Athronus? Athronus?
It's a 16 plus 0, so it's 16.
16. All right. So, I think both of you recognize, the concept of golems. In fact, I think actually it brought up, because there's like specifically golems, but it's kind of like she's referring, the way she's using the word, it's referring to kind of constructs of all sorts. Typically they are, created, and either they work under their creator, or they are kind of sold off to kind of whoever is planning to use them, and they're kind of like maybe not bonded to them, but they're bonded to service. They tend to be fairly unthinking. You actually had, I think I had mentioned during the kind of recap session that we did, there is a kind of a magistrate that had come to the tavern who actually had been a previous owner a couple owners back. Actually, I think she may have even mentioned Volo won the tavern in a hand of cards during playing poker. She was the person that Volo won it from. She came through with a shield golem that kind of follows her around and kind of acts as her bodyguard. But, you definitely recognize golems. Othronus, I think you've seen not very often, but they have kind of worked as bodyguards, or, just... more rarely you've heard of them being used for kind of labor, though even though you don't have to, pay them, because they tend to not be very sentient, they're still fairly expensive, so it'd be a long-term investment. You would know that typically they'd be made out of fairly sturdy materials, like metal or stone. You've heard of like clay, which is more about its adaptability than its rigidness. Wood does not seem like the typical sort of material that you would make a golem out of, or some kind of construct out of. But she kind of goes on to explain that nimble rights are typically made more as art pieces. And in this case, Nim had been gifted to our temple about... Sorry, I'm checking something. Sorry. I will say, it doesn't actually note it in here, but I will say Nim was gifted about 5 years ago to the temple, and has, they have various craftsmen and people in the temple that kind of live in the temple, so they've kind of been the people that he's been around, but he has a ward on him that keeps him in service. Most golems have these sorts of wards that would keep them kind of bound to service. But his ward includes, unless, some conditions are met that she does not remember offhand, in most circumstances, he cannot leave the temple. And I think she also mentions briefly, or at least you would be aware of, the idea of if they did not have these kind of wards of service, it's kind of who knows what they would do. Since they're kind of magical beings, they could very easily kind of, it may depend on, the enchanter or the enchantment. They could be, fairly normal sentient beings. They could be kind of fairly inert, very subservient. They could be monstrous and very destructive. That's kind of the reasoning that she gives for kind of the wards that are in place.
Interesting. I'm still relatively new to the city. Are these constructs, would you say they're common in Waterdeep?
Oh, no. I wouldn't be certain, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear if Nim was the only Nimblewright in the city. I could be wrong.
So you don't know of any other constructs currently in Waterdeep?
Constructs, there are others. They're not, around every street corner, but they are around. Nimblewrights, though, specifically, they tend to be more
specific type.
They tend to be more personal, more artistically created.
More like a sort of, a decoration than one meant for combat.
Somewhat, yes. Nim, he has been gifted with certain things, but he is not a fighter, I'd say. He wouldn't be the one. He's not the sort of construct that would be put for hard labor or for much in the sense of combat.
Fascinating. Thank you for the information. Is this where Nim resides?
Yes, I can actually introduce. He's a bit skittish, so she kind of walks up these last final few steps to get to the door, and she kind of pauses a couple steps away, and it's like, what in the hell? This was... She kind of looks at this door, and you note that there appears to be kind of like not like it doesn't seem like it fits in with the door, like it's been kind of installed more recently. There is a lock in place that is kind of puzzling Valenta.
Lock like meant to keep the door from opening. Does it open out or does it open in?
Like, are you asking like if you could kick the door in or something?
No, like does the door swing open into the room or does it swing out into like our side? Because like if there's a lock on this side, would that do anything?
No, it's a lock on both ends, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
And it does look like it swings inwards. Into the room.
Everything all right?
This lock was not put in place by anyone in the temple. This was not here the last time I checked in with them.
Could it be that he put this lock on himself?
Perhaps. I don't have the key to open this.
Who else would theoretically be able to do this in the temple? Who else knows about it?
I mean, many of the staff here and the people that stay here, they would have capability for something like this, but not without me knowing, I would think.
One question.
I don't see what motivation they would have.
Now, what would be the motivation for this if you had to guess, I suppose, or make an assumption? What actions would require this kind of step to be taken?
I mean, what's coming to mind is, I suppose, Nim, I think he's been feeling more isolated for the past few months. But I wouldn't think that he would get to this point. Valenta knocks on the door, and we're picking up right where we left off with Cordelia, with kind of Nim, kind of, sharing that he feels lonely. And you also hear this knock on the door. You kind of like turn to look at this with Nim.
Ask if he takes fall damage and use him as a cushion as you jump out the window.
Oh man.
And in the midst of this, she would start a bit, and then stare at. His name is Nim?
Nim, you would not have known that. Actually, no. No, he did say, that was the first question that he put. I am Nim, who are you?
Okay, so like the secret of Nim, okay. Alright.
Same spelling, yes.
Alright. And with a bit of a start, Cordelia will ask, do you want to get out of here? Do you want to leave? Do you want to be free?
He kind of hangs his head a bit for a moment. Kind of, I think after a moment he shakes his head no.
Oh, but you said you're lonely. You could come live with me. I live in Troskull Manor, and we have a nice fella named Zam, and you can make some friends. You won't be so lonely.
He kind of erases the message of him being lonely and kind of writes down on the board, I can't.
There's something holding you here? How do we break it?
He shakes his head no. Perhaps in a way that may indicate that he's not certain, or that he doesn't know if there is a way, but he just kind of like shakes his head a bit. No. he kind of. There's another knock at the door. Valenta knocks again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looking over, a little concerned to Celia and Othronis. It's like, this is. Hopefully he will answer. This is his doing.
Can I like walk up to her and just try something? Like, do you mind if I try something?
Sure, but I'd appreciate if you don't cause any damage to the door, but
I don't.
Sure.
This shouldn't. Hello in there. If you can hear me, could you just knock once on this door, if you can?
Cordelia, you hear Othronis' voice.
Mhm.
Kind
She'll
of.
run over and do the knock real quick.
Oh, okay.
You've got rapport.
The three of them, kind of, they hear, three of you, hear this knock, kind of, from the other side of this door. And a little bit of scurrying around, perhaps. A bit of walking over.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. Just wait for that knock. Right? Now, yes or no, are you aware that this door is locked from this side?
Cordelia will shrug at him.
Nim
No nod.
Just one knock for
Nimble
yes, two for
nod.
no. It's a simple.
will nod over at you, Cordelia.
Okay, then she will knock to indicate yes.
All right, I'm getting somewhere.
Assuming that we
What's
set
this
up like.
you're doing?
Okay. Nim pauses for a moment. And writes down on the chalkboard. Ask who is there. Actually, yeah, no. Ask who's there.
Me? And she'll just be like, me?
Nim has written this down. Nim shrugs and kind of like points to his vocal cords that are not there.
And she'll kind of sigh. And she'll make a deep masculine voice. Yes, how can I help?
Oh god.
That's great.
Who's there? How can I help?
Roll performance.
I do believe your boy found his voice.
Talking robot.
Valenta
She's
is like,
trying to
has
mimic-
learned to talk.
The creator, she has no idea whether it's male or female, but that's an 8.
Oh god.
No wait, that's a +2, 10.
10. I think with that, Celia and Othronis, I'll leave that up to you on whether you like. If
No,
you're like just
I
acknowledging,
recognize
point-
Cordelia's voice anyway.
yeah, immediately recognize Cordelia.
At
or
this
if it's
point,
like, that definitely. does
yeah,
not
no. At this
sound
point, I'm more interested to see like what the reaction is of our new friend.
Yeah.
Valenta just like, she kind of like freezes up and is like, "What in the hell's? What?"
If you can ask someone if they have the key to this, that'd be great. Like, I don't want to knock any shit over or break anything, but maybe ask if is there anyone else here who would know?
Who in the name of Bahamut are you? On the other side of this door.
I am a associate from the professor from the university. I've come to examine this fine work of this wooden fellow in here.
How did you get in?
Well, I was invited in, of course.
I do not remember inviting anyone in.
Well, it was not you. It was one of the other folks who work here.
She kind of pauses for a moment.
To be fair,
Ooh.
you didn't know about the lock either. Just putting that out there.
Who invited you in?
I don't remember his name. Some guy. A big mustache, kind of scarred over. And big hat. She just starts randomly spouting off a description of Silas without even thinking about it.
You can just tell the hidden bite behind this description as this is the person who helped me, this bastard.
Yeah.
This cocky bastard.
It is taking everything in Celia to not just start laughing.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just
man.
leaning against the wall, almost just. I'm fighting so hard not to smile, but I really wish I had my hat just to cover my face.
Whoever you are, open up this door and... What is in there? What is going on in there?
Why, nothing. I just dropped a tool. I was making an adjustment on this dear fellow.
Adjustment?
Yeah. Just
Who gave you authorization? Open up this door this instant.
One of his fingers was loose. I had to do something for the poor fellow.
His fingers?
Are you sure you don't want to go look for that key? Because this is getting more and more like a... You're the one in charge here, right?
I think the
I'm
operations...
sorry, I assumed it, but
I'm
I
the caretaker.
honestly don't...
The caretaker, I should be the one consulted for things like this. But do either of you have the means...
Again, I'm looking
door?
at the...
To break the door open.
We can acquire you access, however, it will be at a cost.
While they're
My
chatting,
cost
Cordelia...
will be the...
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, no, go ahead. I'm gonna be talking overly dramatically about I can get you in, but it will be busting this door down. Still probably get you in, but it'll be burning this door down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
the
can
cost.
light this door on fire.
Yeah. Hopefully you're using this time to either get a better story or just leave. I don't know. The stage is yours.
And while they're talking, Cordelia is looking at Nim like, what do you want me to do? You want to try to go or not?
He kind of writes again. He writes again on this slate. I physically cannot.
How?
He kind of writes again. Too long to explain. You should probably leave. She won't be happy to find you in here.
What will she do to me?
He writes down again. Probably not much, but she's not going to be happy, and she definitely won't let you back in here.
But I like you already. I'm just imagining the scene from Goonies with Sloth, where the fat kid is like, I'm gonna take care of you now. You're gonna live with me. You see that going around? that whole clip. Anyways.
Let me see. Does she have something she could do? Let me... Not without breaking out the door too. Keep them talking. I'm going to go find something real quick. Valenta says.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Whatever you need.
Quick. Just wait for her to go around. I'll ask. Do you want to be the lookout or the one who talks?
I'll go ahead and be the lookout.
And he's just smiling at you like, this is a fun day.
This has been very fun.
It's still very interesting that this is all happening after the date they had. Like, right after.
It is. I'm terrified because this is like the good days that echo the bad things happen, like fireballs at the tavern.
Fireball in the morning, nice date in the afternoon.
Well,
and
honestly,
then now
none
this
of this,
exciting adventure at night.
none of this has would have happened if it wasn't for.
This is a day. One day.
It sure is one day.
It's still going to be a
One
much
day.
shorter day than that one day.
I mean, day's
Sure,
not
but
over yet.
We are making up for those long sessions like you're doing a lot.
Oh yeah. So you were saying Celia's going to be the lookout, and Athronis is going to talk.
Yep, she will go over to the stairs and just keep a lookout.
I will then just knock once again, just a quick double tap. Can you hear me? Mr.
Yes.
Professor?
I mean,
Great.
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. Now, do me a quick favor. Keep doing that voice. You have maybe less than a minute or so before they come back. I'm not sure what they're getting, but it's something to likely get this door open. Finish
Yes,
the
sir.
conversation, make your way back out, or stay and we can deal with whatever happens. As the information we have is the individual inside can't leave because of, well, a situation. We can see if we can resolve that or not. But unfortunately, I don't think taking them would be productive. Might be fun though.
He's all lovely, and it's just Cordelia's voice that bursts through the door again.
I know. I don't. This is the first I'm actually hearing of it. That sounds terrible. But look. Someone had to have this stern talk with me when I was a child as well. I can't rescue every puppy I see, despite wanting to. And yes, I kidnapped everyone I could find and just randomly left them in what I assumed were good houses. That didn't always work out, but it did for most of the time. But I eventually learned better ways to do it.
But he's so creative, and he needs to.
We're not leaving him here to die. We're just working on how to free him. We can't do it now. We have to try something later.
Okay.
Nim kind of taps you on the shoulder now, Cordelia. And he kind of he's got a message that he's already kind of written on this chalkboard. He says, "Thank you for your concern, but it's not so bad. I'm just kind of lonely and bored a lot of the time."
And Cordelia, she will drag the nearest tall item towards her, stand up on it, and cradle his wooden face. We'll come back for you. I'll come back for you. We'll find a way to get you out in the world, and then the people can see your talent, and then you can live your life.
Celia, I think at this point in time, you kind of hear don't see quite yet, but you kind of hear the kind of rumbling, she's going to be coming back shortly.
And that's her cue to notify Orthronus.
Time's up.
Wrap
Tie
it
the
up,
rope
big
off
guy.
at the window, jump down, leave the rope, meet us outside.
Alright, fine.
And then I'll just go back to, now tell me more about where you studied, Professor. I'm very interested in this.
And Cordelia will give Min one last hug before heading back towards the window area. Oh, well, it was in a place called Dilly
Nim
Dilly.
Nim just does.
Have you heard of the College of Biggity Bird?
Nim does the motion with his hand to cut it out, sort of with his neck, cut it out. And he actually starts. And when you do the hug, he does kind of reciprocate the hug. When you're walking back towards the window, he does the cut it out motion. He actually reaches into one of these boxes and kind of rummages around. And I don't know if you're going to be staying long enough to kind of see what's up.
I'll glance back
That's on you.
very frequently while getting myself situated.
Tie the rope off to something sturdy in the anything in the building, and just let yourself go down. It should give you enough down so you don't free fall 40 feet. Or,
Right.
Rappel down
be
the
higher.
side of this building.
Yeah, rappel down easier, and then just leave the rope and just blend into the crowd if you can, or stand outside angrily.
Yep, I'm getting that ready while I glance back at Min or Nim.
He kind of gives you a nod, and you see he's kind of got something that he's taken from one of these crates. It looks to be one of the kind of broken inventions. I don't know if I had mentioned this before, a broken invention that he had kind of fished out of one of the crates. And it seems to be some kind of recorder. It's got a what we would probably call, what's the
Phonograph?
Yeah, a phonograph, but it's kind of attached to some sort of mechanical device. You're not entirely certain what this thing is or what it's supposed to be, but he's kind of got that on the on this kind of workbench, and now he's kind of shifting things around, and yeah, he seems to be kind of looking busy.
Okay. So he's not handing.
Well, what was that?
So he's not handing her anything.
Not at the moment, at least.
Okay, alright. Then
Like,
I will... Go ahead.
No, sorry, just breakout time.
Yeah.
Do you close the window behind you, or do you leave it open?
I guess I'll close it so it looks less conspicuous.
All right. You close that, and Valenta, she is, and as these kind of last few moments are going, she returns, and she's got this sort of, it's it's a roll of kind of this leather roll of tools, and she kind of looks over to the two of you and asks, "I don't suppose either of you would know how to pick a lock, would you?"
I look over to... Care to try?
I could try. I am not at all proficient in this, but we're gonna try it. If anything,
I'm
this
surprised
gives
neither
Cordelia
of
more
us
time.
is.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I
Yeah, I
assumed
could.
I
I
was
could
like-
try.
Someone tried to teach me, and I was like, I have a better way. Just
Same.
force it open.
Smash. Except now you're in a
Same.
situation where you can't force it open.
Yeah, you fire, well, we
Yeah,
shouldn't. We can. We completely...
I mean,
we
Yeah.
could burn this
could.
bitch to them.
you get the sense that you probably have to pay for the property damages.
Yeah, and I'm not down for that.
Yeah, no, people would be angry about that. It's either no witnesses or...
But yeah, Celia
I mean,
will
you
step
could've,
forward.
just-
Yeah, and I completely know how to pick a lock. Sure.
Totally, yeah. Go ahead and roll. I'll say for this sleight of hand, if you have that, unless you have the proficiency itself.
I do have I don't have proficiency with
Tools.
any
but
kind
you
of
got
tools
that.
yet, but sleight of hand. That's a 19.
All right.
But I do want to do this slowly to give Cordelia enough time to jump out the window.
Okay. This is one of those checks that have the Okay, yeah, no, sorry. Got distracted by that meme. No, that's nice. This is one of those DCs that have a set DC from the adventure, and that does not meet it, just barely.
Perfect. I am there fumbling with the lock.
Yeah, you were fumbling with the lock. You're a little uncertain, so this is going to take a hot minute.
Maybe if I turn it this way. Interesting.
Valenta actually kind of pauses as you're kind of working on this and kind of notes. He stopped talking. He was going on and on. Did he say anything after I left?
There was a bit of a conversation, yes. Quick question, probably false. Have you heard of the College of Biggity?
That sounds made up.
I thought that as well, but I've also been corrected a few times, once by a dragon, so I tend to better to ask and be sure. And who knows, we might both be wrong.
Dragon, huh?
Oh yeah, oh right, I'm not supposed to tell people about that. Shit. Don't tell anyone about that.
I'd like to ask more, but it sounds like I probably won't be getting much answers. Well, how's the lock coming?
He's nice.
He is nice.
Nicest one I've ever not been killed by.
I agree.
I mean, so far you've never been killed by any dragon.
Exactly.
And he was the nicest.
And out of all of those, he was the nicest.
Is
there was
this
another
including
dragon.
or not including the one that's in your pocket?
Well, now here's the thing, because if this conversation is going on, like, you see, like, this guy, this mean little bastard likes to bite me when I forget to feed him, and I told you that was an accident. Yes, I'm pulling out like my purple dragon. This is all a distraction for Cordelia.
You pull out this dragon, and she pauses for a moment and like looks like she might be about to scream or something. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it gets weirder because after he like gives him a little insult, he just gives him a bit of food, kisses him, and puts him back into his mouth.
How that? I'm just going to pretend like I didn't see that. What? Okay.
I gotta ask, are there mirrors around here? Because you know, right? Just gesturing up and down.
Wait, are you asking that in game or out of game?
This is in game. This is like
he's motioning to her like
every time I've introduced him to somebody, they freak out like this, or they're awed. I was expecting a bit more awed and freak out.
Celia is
especially, I mean, considering
really
she's a dragon herself. Again, it's pretty well known that like this city is supposed to be like one of the few places in the world that you can't just get randomly attacked by a dragon. Except that kind of shakes some worldviews. We just can't show a tiny dragon. No, yeah, she just like goes, okay, that I will probably be asking about that later. How is the lock coming?
This is definitely a bit trickier than I originally intended, but I think I've almost got it.
You can go ahead and roll again unless you're just fumbling, stalling for time.
How long has it been since she got here with this whole dragon talk?
I'd say it's been like a minute or two.
I think that's enough time for Cordelia to throw herself out the window.
Yeet yourself
That's probably enough time. Yeet yourself out the window, or bungee jump, with a normal rope. That obviously can't go wrong.
Bungee jump with a normal rope. What could possibly go wrong?
That is higher this time. That is a 21.
20 is the DC, so you are able to unlock the door.
Last question for you.
And then she's gonna fumble with it for like
pious.
one more time.
I'll let that happen. But right before we open the door, I'm definitely gonna go. So how? I don't want to sound insulting, but I don't know. kind of been with Bahamut for a bit, but I never felt the need to invoke his name when I first. Is there just a level you have to be at to feel confident enough to do it? And I just show my own holy symbol.
She kind of questions what are you asking specifically here?
I don't know. It might be different places. I was always told it's never a good idea to invoke their name almost ever, or not without a really good reason. I was also a child at that point.
You can bring up gods, perhaps the ones you don't want your attention on you. You may not want to speak there, but
that might have been more my thing. I was less than pleasant when I was younger.
Let's take care of this. If you have questions, perhaps they can wait a moment.
No, of course. Let's meet this professor.
Valenta here kind of leads the charge in, I think, unless one of you are kind of opening up this door and heading through first.
I'm waiting for her to go through before I just give Celia just a mini hug, just try to muffle my own laughter into her shoulder.
I think she's also using her throwness to also muffle her own laughter as well.
Okay, this is cute. That's cute.
Apparently he kept a straight face. I was rolling to see if he was gonna break at any point.
Managed to keep a stone cold
somehow kept this okay, let's see what's going on with the nonchalant before he would have been on the floor laughing at this.
Yeah, no, that's funny story.
What a story, Bark.
Oh man. Probably should get wrapping up decently soon here. In fact, actually, man, I want to keep going, but I also feel like this would be a good place to leave it off. Going through the door and kind of giving a bit of a description and then leaving it off there.
Yeah, give it a good cliffhanger of you bust in and this is what you see. And that's where we'll leave it off.
She kind of storms through this door. It's all right, I've had enough of this. What is going on in Nim? And you actually turn and see but no, you walk through and see
Nim also jumped out the window with Cordelia.
Working at the workbench, you see this figure that I have already sent the art for. You two are seeing this for the first time. Kind of rigid features, but is kind of working at this workbench. And it seems to be, again, working on this same item that I described before, this phonographic device that has kind of this kind of more mechanical component at the bottom. And Valenta asks, "Oh, you're tinkering. What is that? I recognize it." And Nim kind of turns back and just kind of he's working on this, but he just kind of smacks it like you might smack a TV that's kind of glitching out. And I think the two of you recognize this as distinctly different. I will roll in a moment for Valenta. But it out of this phonograph kind of comes a voice that's kind of spouting off this sort of generic dialogue in a definite different voice than what the one Cordelia was using, but roughly similar.
All right, time to gaslight this girl. Oh yeah,
muffled through the door.
That was the voice we heard.
Oh.
I'm just gonna take a peek toward the side of the window. Is there any evidence I need to be on the lookout for to try and hide or destroy?
She doesn't have any insight. Okay, yeah, no, this she roll a perception check if you're looking for you said you're looking for evidence that may have been left or anything that may have been like any remnants of what may have happened?
30-20. I feel like there's going to be like a shoe drop at some point in the future because of
Get the rope, Orthronus. Hide the rope out the window.
Just behind my back, I'm just slowly gathering the rope before I just take it.
I think with that, I don't know. I don't confirm. I don't think that there was anything specific that had been like, left behind. No scraps of clothing, no bits of rope. It's kind of a bit of clutter anyway, so you think that like it probably wouldn't get noticed even if there was something. At least there's nothing major enough that like would be noticed. So you think she's in the clear. Valenta is like, that's what the voice was. That is such a strange thing to hear. What, Nim? What have you been doing up here? This is a mess. This is tinkering. Sorry, but you have some questions you need to answer for us. What is the deal with that lock? That was not here last time I came up here. And that was not...
When was that?
Just
for clarification.
A few days ago. I'd seen him downstairs a bit, but I'd not been up to this attic. We use it for storage for old, unfinished, or, destroyed projects. Well, maybe not destroyed, but yes, those two, but we use it for storage, and storage for materials as well. And Nim stays up here and he tinkers, but a lock, you are not supposed to have a lock on that door. Nim kind of like hangs his head and like kind of shakes it a bit. Just shakes kind of in a little bit of, disappointment.
Was this lock?
Oh yeah? What were you asking?
Was this lock your idea, Nim, or was it someone else's?
Okay. Wait, sorry, I was reading something. Can you say what you said again?
Was this lock his idea, or was it someone else's?
Nim kind of points to himself. And kind of, you also see now this chalkboard that he's got, and he kind of erases what had been written on there before, and kind of writes something down. And it kind of shows, I wanted to be able to work on my projects in privacy. Valletta kind of approaches Nim a bit and kind of like kneels down, because Nim is kind of seated at his workbench once again. Says, "Oh, Nim, I'm sorry that you feel that you need to hide your creations from us. What happened?" Nim kind of pauses, and he actually puts down the slate and begins gesturing. It seems that this is some sort of sign language, and it seems that Valenta is kind of following along. And we'll kind of repeat after, kind of like what Nim is sharing. Nim, he's sharing about a project he undertook about a month ago. It sounds like he tried to... Well, it sounds like he was lonely and, well, he created other forms, other constructs to keep him company, kind of gesturing to kind of now like a pile kind of at the corner of this desk. Maybe not a pile, but like a handful of different creations similar to the sparrow that I think, Celia, you probably still have in your hand and just haven't noticed. And the frog that's kind of more prominent on the desk, kind of off to the side at the moment. The millipede, just kind of a handful of other creations like this. He sounds like he made them to keep him company, but he wasn't satisfied. He wanted someone like him.
Quick question, my dude. Would you be able to make something like this? And I once again pull out the dragon.
Nim actually kind of also signs, and Valenta, it's like, we were at a crucial point, but it looks like that was a project that he had began working on, but and kind of like following along. It seems like it had a lot of moving and complicated parts. And Nim actually kind of points over to another pile. And it actually, you kind of see, like, you see a head, or actually you kind of see like an entire like spine, kind of like loose, but like it's not completed, like dragon spine and like wings coming off of it. But like it is definitely not finished. Looks like it sounds like he kind of started on something like that, but it got pretty complicated, so he decided to try his hand at other things.
I have a bit of work for you, commissioned, if you're ever interested. Just I'm like looking at like how big that could be, just because I have an idea for something. There's no point to it other than it is completely cosmetic and just for...
Valenta kind of goes, that's nice, but let's finish this, because... And she kind of like turns towards you. He told me he created another one of himself to keep him company.
Did he make himself a lady friend?
Did he make his evil twin?
Wait, if you made another one of yourself, where is it?
Oh crap, did he not put like the binding and the don't do bad things, like do bad thing glyphs on that other one?
Nim kind of signs a few kind of motions, and Valenta kind of like pauses for a moment. It ran away.
How complete was it when it ran away?
Nim signs a few things, but Valenta kind of quickly catches up and kind of fills in. We do not tend to activate or bring life to our creations in this sort of sense unless it is fully complete, or at least in a working order. It looks like he created a much more bare bones one, not artistic looking, but it was functional. And it did not have any wards on it.
When did this thing run away?
This is serious, Nim. You should have brought this up with us. Nim kind of reaches over to the slate and writes on it 1 month ago.
Huh.
Valenta kind of like has her kind of head in her hands at the moment. It's like, Nim, this is very serious. Who knows what may have happened? Nim, I sympathize for you, and I wish you had been a bit more open about this, but for the time being, I'll need to remove your tools. I can't have you making anything else like that. You can keep your projects that are already complete, but please speak with us.
Now, I'm just putting this out there. What if you give him something to keep him busy that you can, monitor, on the daily and make sure idle hands and all that?
Roll persuasion.
And come on, project. This is literally nothing but a stupid project I'm going to ask him. Alright, took me a while to find it. So it turns out, I really gotta respect this guy. I have proficiencies in things I have like a 0 bonus to, so they're okay-ish.
Oh boy.
And I have one thing I'm good at. That's lying. That I'm trying not to do. The other things are what I'm not great at. So, yeah. But
I mean, you can still do it. Just
no, yeah. This roll 12. Could have been
12.
better. A little. No, not proficient with this.
I will allow Celia if you are interested in pitching in.
I will
And you may not
attempt to
be.
help. No, I will.
I was gonna ask.
I know
do
what
you have
he's
a better
going with
one
it.
than me?
Yeah. I will
Okay.
ask though before offering the help action. What do you say to kind of back him up?
I know
Yeah, 'cause,
it's worked on.
idle.
I know it's worked on, children so that they don't get into any danger. And plus, wouldn't it be better if you had something you can control him doing? If there's anything that I know, it's that those that like to rebel will always find ways to rebel. So even without his tools, if he is as smart as I think he is, he may still be creating something that you don't know about.
Valenta, she kind of looks contemplative for the moment. Roll again, Othronus.
Oh boy.
Do you want to roll, or do you want me to do a separate roll?
I was gonna ask, how good are you? Because I'm actually pretty decent at it. It was just not a great roll.
Persuasion, it's not any much better than you are. I think I got a +3, so I think go ahead and do the help action. I believe in your next roll.
You can do it. On the edge of our seats.
Oof, 19. Thank you.
Ooh.
Oof. Valenta kind of looks contemplative. You're right. I'll still need to apprehend his tools in in his room, or perhaps keep him somewhere else, but I'll manage that later. It'll be under supervision. She kind of like looks and points towards Nim. And you'll have to come to us for any projects that you're undertaking. Get permission beforehand, but if you wish, you may still work during your time here. That being said, this still leaves the matter of the missing Nimblewright.
So when I told you we had questions because something similar to it has been spotted around, one of those places was a bombing resulted in the death of a few in Troll Skull Alley earlier today.
Bombing? What does it...
a large fiery explosion.
I understand what bombing means. What do you think it's connected somehow?
It's a possibility. Here's the layout. It happened. The people there and the witnesses, according to some, say that because this was apparently a scuffle that turned into a little brawl outside. It's nothing too ordinary out of the city. But that's when the detonation happened, and one of the quote-unquote eyewitnesses says they saw a puppet-like humanoid figure on the roof from where said thing originated from. So unless I'm remembering that probably wrong.
No, you're about right. Valenta kind of sighs. At least the good news is that means that it couldn't have been Nim.
I believe that completely. I'm gonna be so sad if the real Nim is like dead and gutted, and this guy's just the evil one wearing his armor.
Dun dun.
Like just wearing that hat and like that poncho, which I'm just gonna call it a poncho.
It's kind of what it is.
That's just
tabard.
Yeah,
maybe?
It's hiding. Yeah, like hiding the imperfections of like the missing wards and stuff. The real him is just like a torso hidden in the closet, trying to warn us.
I made him into a chair. No. Nim kind of begins signing again, Valenta kind of following along. It sounds like once it fled and he realized what he had done, he tried tracking it down. What are you referring? Nim actually kind of goes over to a drawer and pulls out, kind of rummages through for a minute, and actually pulls out, copy and paste, this item that should be sending that. Okay.
That looks like the coolest makeshift grapple hook / umbrella I've ever seen.
It looks like it belongs in a Dr. Seuss book.
Valenta translates. Actually, no. Valenta is still kind of confused. Like,
it's just a flashlight. Just a flash.
Nim writes on his slate, Nimblewright detector.
Oh.
And kind of going back to signing, Valenta translates. I see. When he created this and to track down other Nimblewrights in the city. It won't work on him, but it sounds like if you hold down the trigger, it will spin if there's a Nimblewright within 500 feet. And it sounds like it'll spin faster the closer it gets.
That's definitely something worth looking into.
it sounds like he tried to track it down himself, but that's when he learned his wards weren't just to keep him more in line, but to wouldn't let him leave the temple. I'm sorry, Nim. Wards are complicated magic. It is designed into the construct itself, but I'm not certain if there would be a way to undo the ward without destroying what makes a creature that themselves. Even if that wasn't the case, Waterdeep has laws against regulations against unregulated constructs. It's a complicated process. I'll look into trying to find some sort of resolution, but I'm afraid that's all I can offer for now.
All right. Well, I guess we have our information, and hopefully, I'll try and check in a bit to, compare notes, keep you updated, and let you know about that project. And I just very quickly, go up to him and just whisper something really quickly in his ear. This is what I'm thinking.
Whisper. And I assume you're gonna message me, or are you...
Whisper.
No, I have no problem. Yeah, no, I have no problem telling you. Like I said, this was inspired by the picture you sent of the Dragonborn originally. That skirt just made me think of something, because I've seen it before, and I thought it would be a funny thing to make. Essentially, it's a skirt/kilt that has that feathery design that is essentially made to open up, and it look like you have a pair of wings on your lower back.
Oh, nice.
With the idea that this is something like akin to, it's not feather fall, but it's like the slow fall from a monk, like something to help you glide down, almost like the Batman, cowl. Like, it's not going to kill the damage completely, but it helps regulate falls. I was thinking about making one, or maybe more, for myself and or Celia, Cordelia, and if we ever get anyone else back.
Could be handy for sure.
Yeah.
Also, this would just be the thing to strut out if you're ever going to the beach and you want to dramatically reveal yourself. Just because I'd imagine there's one for the lower body and then there's one for the upper body. So it's just a smaller pair of wings around you, and it's just a complete you're now wearing a swimsuit with wings.
You're turning yourself into a biblically accurate angel.
At this point, kind of.
Wonderful.
And that's just what he's going to say. This is all I need. I need it the exoskeleton of wings. Then I'm going to work with some people I know that do great with clothes. Sew in some cloth, some feathers. It'll be maybe a push button belt or switch, or just a simple button click. Something will cause them to open up and just present.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
All right. Well, if you want to message the gist of that at some point, so to kind of help with memory.
Yeah.
Kind of checking in. Valenta kind of looks like she has something that she wants to say, but is there anything else that you kind of like to bring up with Nim at the moment?
Celia does give him his bird back.
Nim kind of takes a look at that and looks a little sad. It's kind of it doesn't seem to be alive or active at the moment. But it does seem to be in good condition. He gives
quick
you,
question.
a nod of
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, you can ask.
No, I was going to ask, Nim, when you created your friend, did you give him like how long would he last? Like, is he continuous? Does he have like a few months to keep going?
He's solar
Or
powered
is he
and we're
like just
screwed.
permanent? Yeah. Yeah, like is he solar powered or we're screwed? Does he have to feed on people's souls? Like what's the situation here?
Of course.
Like, does he Freddy Krueger people's dreams and that's how he keeps himself going? Does he have a mechanical, like hamster inside of him keeping his wheels cog going?
And if the hamster dies, then he dies until like a new hamster gets put in place?
A question, was he better at creating things? Is that why, like...
We fought.
Because that's the weird thing. For some reason you can make something better and then they make something better than both of you. It's that cycle of... That's how we get to, like, Skynet.
Sorry, I'm actually checking something. Sorry. I'd be able to find this.
Go for it. I have made my pitch for a strength version of a gun, which is just a shotgun. Technically, it'd be a blunderbuss in this age, because like it's fuck accuracy, just boom.
Yeah, kind of. Just blunderbuss. Put just random stuff in there, like silverware.
I mean, I don't know if this is... I think this is homebrew. He called it like the Scrap Slammer, which is just like a rifle that you just jam. You essentially compact any random scrap metal into like a 2 by 4 inch little like a metal compress. Just slap it in, click it, and just send it flying.
Yeah.
An Artificer is like a modify of the catapult spell, and it was beautiful.
Pretty much, yeah. Very nice. Sorry. Okay. Nim... Yeah, okay, yeah. Nim kind of, at the question like how long this thing is going to last, kind of like shrugs, and kind of writes down on his slate, I'm not certain. I modeled him off of me, but he's not quite the same. I didn't have much of a chance to examine him before he fled in confusion.
Question, like exact same or like improved? Like I don't want to go up against General Grievous without knowing.
About the same, maybe a bit different. He kind of writes. No,
that's actually a thought. If you can make extra hands for yourself, it'd probably help out with like work and stuff.
Not certain how I would implement them.
Well, and this is just an idea. A backpack that's actually just a folded up hand.
Interesting.
Because I've seen like that helmet downstairs that does the hand thing that just slaps you awake. Now, if you can like program that, can you program it to like to hold things still, twist, turn, pull, slap across the face? Something can be done.
Maybe.
Only limit is imagination. And money. Money is actually a pretty big one.
This is also true. Pretty big. So I think with that kind of why am I blanking on her name? I said it a number of times. Valletta. She kind of pulls the two of you to the side a bit, kind of in a hushed tone, but loud enough to hear. It says, "It pains me a bit, but there's no telling what that other Nimblewright will do. If it seems like the two of you are conducting an investigation of sorts, if the two of you happen to grab the other nimble right, the House of Inspired Hands will pay to have that removed from the city.
Like, would you want the remains back just for him, or just outright remove it from the books?
If you could bring proof, that would be what would be necessary. The whole thing, just enough to serve as proof. As long as it's not out there in the city.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's
Alright,
something we can do.
We can definitely do. It goes without saying, we'll keep this, under wraps.
That would be appreciated. Don't want too much of a stir. Well, the city's already in plenty of chaos.
And it's also...
Could be a disaster.
Question, have you seen a cannon before?
Oh, of course. Many of them on ships I've seen beyond cannon. Yes. Similar concept to the fire that you mentioned.
Yeah, but I was wondering, theirs is less based on accuracy and more based on brute force and hoping the direction they're aiming is correct.
Well, naturally, with a firearm, you're able to aim a bit more easily.
They've increased the aim but reduced the size and power. I was wondering if we reduced the size but kept the power and, didn't focus so much on the accuracy. That's where I'm going with this. Or the idea I'm thinking of. Plenty of trial and error. Not to mention much of the future, but it's an idea.
I'll be honest, I'm not exactly the specialist in weapons here. If you come back perhaps another time, I could introduce you to someone that may serve that role.
Excellent. No, I'm not really... Yeah, I think it'd be best if we figure out the mechanics of it first. Why it works, how it works, what would happen if we changed certain things.
Naturally, yes. There was someone who was handy with them. I'll next time you drop by, I'll see about it.
I'll introduce you to my friend next time I visit, see if she can come. She has an actual weapon of that, and I think she'd be okay with you looking at it for a bit.
Absolutely.
Great.
I think it's time I get this situation sorted. I thank you for your patience and your assistance.
Of course.
And
we should probably be on our way. How late is it?
It's gonna be pretty late.
It's probably I think we had said it was about like 8 when we wrapped up last time, so I'd say probably getting close to like 9:30. It's getting into the evening.
It's actually not that late for me. So
Well, it's not super late, but it's
most normal people are like getting ready to like call it quits for the day.
yeah. Well, it's not like evening, but it's it's getting moderately.
We're getting close to that 10 o'clock, 11 midnight.
Yeah.
And this is when we head downstairs and find out Cordelia got kidnapped.
So we go down there and find... Here's the thing. We find a sign that says, like, if you want to see your friend again, bring so-and-so to, like, this address. Signed, Silas Duncan.
Oh, this is gonna be hard.
Of course.
Like, it says something about a mansion. She never told us where that...
Yeah, oh god, to the mansion? Which one?
We will kind of jump back in time, a decent chunk of time, and back to Cordelia. Briefly, I Also, actually, it's worth checking in. How's everybody doing time-wise? I know it's getting decently late, but
I should definitely scuttle off to bed by now, but I kind of don't want to. This has been a fun episode.
It's finally infected us.
glad everybody's having some fun here.
Mhm.
I will kind of ask, just to kind of check in a bit. Roll athletics and stealth as you're kind of climbing down this rope. I will say the DC will be lower now that you also have a rope that you're able to climb down. I will also note you're not going to be able to untie this or so
Right.
if you use the rope, it'll leave evidence. If you don't use the rope, then you will be good. If you do use the rope, you'll leave evidence. But it'll be easier. You know what I'm saying.
Altai is sort of what are those knots that kind of undo themselves if you pull them in a certain way? I can't think of what it's called. But anywho, I will use the rope, but tying a specific knot to where I can untie it if I pull on two ends at the bottom.
Roll an intelligence check.
Intelligence, okay.
We believe in you.
Oh, and that was a 14 for athletics and a 12 for stealth. And then intelligence 2 plus minus 1. So 1, but that means I can roll again, right? Or does it have to be land on a 1?
It has to land on a 1.
Ah, shiza.
You actually knot yourself to this rope?
Let me see how I'm gonna. I'll leave this as other systems other than D&D have a concept called mixed successes, which I like to try and mix in as well. But in this case, some of them give you the option. I'm going to give you the option here. Do you want to, with that roll, have the rope be firmly taut and not be removed, or do you want it to come loose and you to kind of have to catch yourself and climb down?
I guess I'll catch myself and climb down then.
Okay. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a fumble success with this? It'd be it would cause rope burns, so you succeeded, but you're likely to have a disadvantage on dex-based and rolls until your next short or long rest.
11?
Yep.
I think with this case, let me actually roll for something. You were built.
It is later, but we're all this is still out in the day, so I don't know how many people are around watching this.
It's getting to be evening. There's definitely people out on the street, and I will definitely be rolling to see what they see here and what the reaction is. Okay. You are able to catch yourself with an 11, but you've got the rope in one hand, kind of loosely dropped loose. And you are hanging by one hand onto this ledge, and it kind of throws out your shoulder. It's a hell of an impact. So go ahead and take 3 damage here.
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah, and I will also say there's going to be, I'll say a -2 to, because you're midway down. You still have to roll. I'll say we'll see how it goes, but you'll roll me another athletics check.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty good. 15?
15. Okay. Despite your, shoulder injury, you are able to climb down this building. Let me roll for people observing. Okay, yeah. So at this point in time, you're kind of like getting to the bottom. Here, let me roll. Somebody definitely saw you. Let me roll to see, like, good person, bad person. What is the situation here? Okay. Yeah, you kind of like get down and like you're catching your breath because that was probably more intense than you wanted it to be. You kind of hear from behind you this voice go, "What do you think you're doing? Climbing a building like that in the middle of the night? Or maybe not the middle, but what are you doing?"
Oh, well, that. Well, I was just making sure that all the fixtures are secure on this here building. Just making a bit of an inspection, just 'cause I've been noticing things on walks and yeah.
You turn around and see this. You I think maybe expect to look up, and you actually have the rare encounter of looking down on this pretty short gnome. Not like
The
down
first
a
time
lot, but like
you've ever
slightly
looked
shorter.
like, yeah, no, you're almost eye level
She
with
has
someone for
siblings.
the first time.
I mean, she's known other halflings and other people, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
fair.
but coming to the city.
It's rarer than you might think. Roll deception for that lie.
8.
8. And where's your assistant? There's supposed to be people watching out for you when you're climbing around on buildings, or better yet, ladders.
Oh, they're in there. I've handled this just fine. I've been doing this a long while, so all is well.
Uh, just roll me a d20 real quick.
Okay. 15.
15. Okay. Yeah, this gnome seems to be like, I don't know, but kind of, you see kind of rounding a corner, kind of like past, like in this alley, someone kind of like, of course, gotta have somebody on the inside and the outside keeping an eye on their compatriot. Or don't you know the first thing about building architecture inspection? And routing this corner is a familiar face. I rolled for it before, and this is the one I'm going with. A familiar face is Slive Brazinar, or as you have passionately nicknamed her, Rose. Comes walking around the corner.
Oh.
And she's gonna give you the help action on this.
Cool.
I disconnected.
No, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's same
I
for
just
me.
I just wanted to. I was waiting. Heidi, you there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you asked for a roll. 15.
Roll for. No, that was the. I just asked you to roll a d20 for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll again the deception. She's
Oh.
giving you advantage.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I
Right,
was doing
right.
another roll.
Right.
Deception. Okay, advantage. All right. The good thing because that was a 4. 16.
Well, she was giving you the advantage on the roll that you had rolled before, but we'll still just go with the 16. This gnome kind of like, you get the sense that this guy just may be nosy. It's like, fine. Doesn't seem like guild regulated work, but whatever. Cares about safety regulations in this town, as he kind of like mutters as he's storming off. Ooh, I almost fell to my death. I should have had a ladder.
What does he know?
For the life of me, I want him to be wearing a little hard hat, and just like a vest underneath his normal clothes. Just
Nobody cares about OSHA violations of this town.
how old is this gnome? Like, is he like back in my day?
Decently, like, I'd say probably about like 40. Or whatever the gnomish age equivalent of 40 would be for gnomes. I don't remember how
Depending on
long they
which-
live and like what that would.
Depending which
add up
rules
to.
you're using, like they can go into like the hundreds, like 3, 4,
Yeah.
I think. I gotta double check it out.
They can go pretty old. We'll go with the tentative 60 just for the time. But you know, looking probably, yeah. Rose just kind of turns to you after he's kind of walked away a bit. It's like, so that didn't go as well as I think you may have hoped.
All went perfectly to
No.
plan, just fine, Peachy Keen.
I'm not certain why you were climbing out a temple window in the darkness of the night, but far be it from me to judge.
Well, it'd be a long story anyway.
No, I've got time, but
Well, I
something-
don't. It's getting past my bedtime, and
no,
I'll just be...
no. This is like tentative. Like we can leave off. I was like, we can leave off for next time here, if you
Okay.
wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, it is past my bedtime now.
Hmm. Yeah. So we can leave off there and catch up with what's been going on.
All right.
So
Oh god, a part of me really wants to try to get Kimmy in on the next one so she can just walk in like carrying a bunch of shopping bags.
With
Mhm.
Rose, they're on a date.
Rosie, where you went?
Essentially like, Rosie dear, just need your help choosing out the next bit of something or other.
Cute.
It's like,
That is
we're
a wonderful
redecorating-
description. Choosing the next bit of something or another. I love it.
I could see her saying that.
yeah,
Yep.
it's like, but we're redecorating our rooms that they gave us back at like the, I mean, cause they're staying back at like the paladin spot, right? Or do they get their own place aside from that?
We have not caught up with them. You're also again assuming that that has advanced.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
I had plans for what had been going on with Nyla, but it sounds like she may have different plans. Though again, we did not get the chance to talk. So maybe I'll hear back from her before next week, but who knows?
That's-
This has been
Oh.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing, not to spoil anything, but there are 2 pets you can adopt in Baldur's Gate. I don't know how far you've gotten into like
No,
the
I don't
first
want to
or
know.
the
I don't
act.
want to know.
I have one
Please
of
do it.
them, and I suspect I have the seedlings for the other.
They become best friends.
Aw. Yeah, no.